I live in Berlin now. I spoke to my landlord a couple months ago. He said, "So Dan, you've lived in Germany for a year now. What do you think?" And I go, "Germany is amazing. I love it so much, but sometimes I still feel like I'm a second-class citizen here." And he goes, "No, Dan, don't say that. You're not a citizen." So... And he's right. I don't feel like the first world citizen because I grew up in a small industrial town in the 90s. We were extremely poor. We lived in a shitty apartment. We wore weird clothes. We almost didn't eat meat. It was like Berlin, but not cool, you know? And I went to school with other kids from poor families, and for some reason we learned French. And it is so weird because when you live in a shitty city, like in a small shitty industrial town, and you have to speak French and describe your life in French. It's so weird. One year we had this young teacher, like fresh from college, she was still happy, you know, and one morning she came in and she's like, "Hey guys, I want you to tell me about your family in French." And one girl raises her hand and she's like, "How do you say alcoholic in French?" And that was his first shock in her career. She was like, "An alcoholic in French would be un ivrogne." And the second shock was when like half of the class wrote it down. They were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna need that for my story. All right." Sometimes I would go to school in the morning and I would see a guy from my class beating the shit out of older guys. And a few hours later, he's in my class and he's like, "Croissant." Why? You will never see a croissant in your life. What the fuck? What do you learn? I've always wanted to learn English, but we didn't have money to hire a teacher, so I just had to like play video games and I just memorized words from video games. But it was weird because I loved strategy games. That was why my vocabulary was weird for a while. Because for a couple of years I couldn't name the days of the week, but I could say enemy units are approaching. I was a weird kid. So I left. I live in Berlin now, and that's a big deal for my family. They call me all the time, and they're like, "When are you coming back?" And I'm like, "I'm not." And they're like, "You are not even coming back for your grandma's funeral?" And again, I get sad because I don't really know if I can come back. And the second thing that makes me sad is that my grandma is alive. But they already discuss it, like, in front of her. I can hear her in the phone. Like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And that's sad. So yeah, I live here now, but I try to be in touch with all the other comedians from non-democratic countries because I feel closer to them. We try to support each other. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was this open mic, and there was a comedian from Iran, and they went on stage and they said, "Hey, I want to share with you, my president just died in a helicopter crash." And we're all in the back and we're like, "Oh yeah, woohoo!" And all the Germans in the audience are like, "What the fuck is happening over there?" But we try to support each other. We're like, "Yeah, good for you, man. One day we'll all have that. We're all dreaming. Our president's dying in a helicopter crash." So yeah. I feel like I should learn German. Like no one expects me to. Like no one asked me in this year and a half. But I feel like I need to. And like there's no pressure, so I use Duolingo to learn German. Duolingo is perfect when you want to learn a language, but you don't want to see any results. So, so I use it, but I hate it. I hate it. Like, I mean, I like exercises, but I just hate the characters on Duolingo. I hate them all, but especially I hate Lily. You know this teenage girl with purple hair. Whenever you finish a lesson on Duolingo, she does that. She's not impressed. And I was like, "Really? Not impressed?" I struggle all the time. I struggle with my paperwork, I struggle to pay rent, I struggle with my mental health, and still I managed to finish my German lessons with 95% accuracy. I think that's pretty impressive, you stupid bitch. I scream at a cartoon girl. 126 days streak of screaming, and the girl that doesn't exist. And It's interesting that everybody hates Lily. Every user, Duolingo user that I talk to, they all hate Lily. And it's interesting because if you speak to like Star Wars fans, at least 20% of them will say that like Darth Vader is actually pretty cool. But 100% of Duolingo users hate Lily. Hats off to Duolingo designers for creating a character that is more despicable than Darth Vader. It's interesting. And some people say that you can't actually use phrases you learn on Duolingo in real life because they're too abstract. But I do use them, because sometimes I have to talk to a German official, and he only speaks German to me, and then I use a phrase from Duolingo. I say, Ich bin eine Biene. Which means, I am a bee. And the official thinks I am an idiot, and he switches to English, and he speaks slowly. He says, "Sir, could you please sign this document right here?" And I say, "Ein Hund und eine Katze." And he just